And I do think that the real answer to this, as far as I can see, is cryptocurrency, because it is the best performing asset in the world and of all time. And so I think that's the one thing we can lean in. It has a huge future in the exponential age. Technology investing is the other one. There are incredible companies doing incredible things, and we're doing stupid things like, yeah, but it's already a 2 trillion company. Well, think of the world I was been talking about. Is there no reason somebody's not going to be 20 trillion? 50 trillion? Of course. Some of these companies are going to be bigger than sovereigns. So you need to get your head around everything has changed. It's really hard for value stocks and small companies and minor gold miners or whatever the past world looked like to succeed in this new world. It's just not going to work.
Right now, crypto and tech are the only markets compounding at exponential speed. And if you're not paying attention, you're about to miss the most chaotic wealth transfer in modern history. That's the latest message from Rawl Pal, CEO of Real Vision. Pal warns that the old economy, built on debt, demographics, and stagnant growth, is collapsing under its own weight, while the new economy of AI blockchain and exponential networks is exploding forward. This divergence is creating one of the most powerful macro setups in history. The window to position yourself is brutally short, and missing it could mean being locked out of the single greatest investment wave of our lifetimes. Make sure to stick around until the end of the video as Rawl Pal breaks down why this wealth transfer is happening faster than anyone realizes, and how you can position yourself before it's too late.
You see, my journey, as you know, had been from democratizing financial intelligence and helping people in their financial journey once trust broke down with the institutions and the system itself after 2008 and 2012 in Europe. That was the birth of Real Vision. The idea was to educate people in that. As I moved forwards, I started realizing the profound effects of the retirement crisis, this baby boom generation, the fact that assets are driven further and further out of most people's reach, and that there was a young cohort and an old cohort that was really going to face a lot of problems. I talked for the young cohort about how cryptocurrency, this was back in 2016, was going to be one of the answers to get them out of this trap. And the baby boomers had more complexities around how they were going to evolve and survive around this situation. I've talked a lot about the rise of digital assets. And then I brought in, obviously, the everything code thesis of how debasement is driving a lot of this. And this is our enemy, an 8% debasement a year, plus let's say a 3% inflation rate. We've got an 11% hurdle rate on our investments, which the S&P 500 doesn't even do. So we have to be very careful in how we protect our wealth or create wealth. This is part of this how to unfuck your future idea. That's based on all of these premises. But there's something much bigger that wraps the whole lot together, and that's the theory of the exponential age. Again, when I came out with the exponential age in 2020, people thought I was nuts. I'm like, this is going to be the fastest growth of technology in all human history. It's going to be the largest change we will ever go through as a species in the shortest period of time. And people thought I was being dramatic. Then AI came, and everyone's like, holy shit. And now the robots are coming, and everyone's like, holy shit squared. And now everyone's trying to figure out what this means for society, how this all works, how to regulate it, what to do. But it's moving at lightning speed. By the time this video comes out, I don't know, maybe ChatGPT, I think the strawberry model, the large model, comes out. That's coming out very soon. Again, that'll be another step change. We know there's more releases coming from Google, but really we're already hearing that OpenAI probably trained ChatGPT 5 or ChatGPT Next, as it's called, which is a quantum leap yet again, as big as the leap from ChatGPT 1 to ChatGPT 4, when we're getting closer to something like artificial intelligence. And so this video is really about why you've got 6 years left to make as much money as possible before everything we kind of understand about economics, markets, business falls apart. And I can't see beyond that, so I call it the economic singularity. So I think we've got about 6 years for that. It's not a doom date, well, this date it all happens, but it's beyond about 2030 when things are going to become not understandable by using the existing frameworks of economics, financial analysis, markets, and that kind of stuff. So what the fuck am I talking about here? I'm talking about the magic formula for GDP growth. is driven... So, sorry, I'm just going to go back, is most people look at AI, the rise of AI, and think of it, again, in societal terms. What does it mean for humans, for jobs, and all of that? But I think there are more profound implications that come faster that we need to be aware of, and that's the economic singularity. So GDP growth in the magic formula is driven by population growth, productivity growth, and debt growth. So population growth in all of the developed world, including China, we've got falling, aging demographics. Many populations are now shrinking. The US, due to immigration, is just holding its head above water, but the rate of change of population is collapsing everywhere. So that means that the economic driver of population growth has disappeared. Now, we've seen that in GDP because trend rate of GDP has been falling and falling and falling, and it's gone from, in the US, from like 4% to 1.75%. And across the rest of the developed world, it's fallen even further, in most cases below 1%, matching population growth collapsing in those regions. The other side of the equation is productivity growth. Productivity growth is basically units of output per kilojoule of energy, or in other words, what you get out of your cost of electricity. So if electricity is the kind of the energy that makes the world go round, the economic energy, then we need to see what we get out of that energy. So technology has been the big driver of productivity, but the problem is, as populations get older, they become less productive. So it's really been a battle, and technology has not won that battle for quite some time. Then we've had debt growth, and I've talked extensively about debt growth. Debt growth basically stops in 2008, and all debt growth is now is servicing of old debts. So that economic engine's disappeared. If you think about the Chinese economic miracle, that was a massive population of, at the time, I think it was 1.1 billion people back in the mid-90s. And what they did was come into the global labor force. The economy of China opened up. That's a massive GDP push. Productivity, well, they built the roads, the railways, the power plants, and all of the stuff that makes China what it is today. That was a productivity boost. And then they increased debt as well. So we had a huge economic boom in China, which we're now paying back with aging population because of the one-child policy. And we've also got a huge problem on the debt side. So how the hell do we solve this? You see, the everything code will just keep repeating ad infinitum, where we just have to keep debasing currency to try and offset the debt payments because GDP growth is not fast enough. So GDP is kind of the economic cash flow that pays for the debts. If GDP growth is low, interest rates need to be low, which is why the Fed are going to cut and all of those kind of things. But also, as GDP growth goes lower, debt growth keeps ballooning, and you have to keep refinancing all of this debt because there's not enough growth to grow your way out of the debt-based economy. But things started changing at the margin, and it really accelerated over COVID. Firstly, Amazon, I think, now employs more robots than it does humans. And this is a trend I've been pointing out for some time. Humans are cheaper replaced by robots that are more productive. They don't complain, they don't have unions, and over time, they're much, much cheaper. So the rise of the robots is just starting. We're seeing Tesla with its Optimus robot. We're seeing Figure. We're seeing Boston Dynamics. We're seeing a whole bunch of robotics companies. So humanoid robots really start to replace humans because they have dexterity. So they don't have to be for single tasks, much like machine learning was for single tasks, and AI is much broader. We're going to see multitasking robots. So that starts helping bolster the lack of humans in the population. But the robots will take longer to scale. Physical hardware, you have to manufacture it, you have to design it. We're still at early stage of this. So yes, we will see Tesla robots and others coming into, let's say, factories, but in our houses, it's probably 10, 15 years away, but it's coming. Now, the big lever here is AI. AI is basically infinite human knowledge. Now, why the magic formula works is because we've charged for and created an economic system around scarcity of labor and scarcity of knowledge.
Ever since 2016, cryptocurrency has been seen as a lifeline for younger generations, squeezed by inflation and failing investments, while older generations struggle to adapt to the changing environment. By 2020, the idea of an exponential age was introduced, which describes the rapid growth of technology supercharged by breakthroughs in artificial intelligence like ChatGPT. That growth is now driving us toward an economic singularity around 2030, a point where traditional financial systems simply stop working. Central banks, interest rates, and government policies will no longer hold the same power they once did, collapsing under the weight of slowing population growth, falling productivity, and unsustainable debt. When this storm finally hits, wealth won't just move from one group to another. It will transform into something entirely different. And those who fail to adapt will be left behind, while those prepared for the shift will own the future.
So at the end of this decade, this journey from here to now is knowable. We know that the everything code is at play. That allows assets to go up due to debasement. We know that tomorrow will be more digital than today. The exponential age told us that, and is provably so. Therefore, invest in the only two secular bull markets that exist right now, which is technology itself and blockchain technology. Blockchain has been the fastest adoption of any asset class in history. It was the fastest growth of any technology in all human history, but AI is now outpacing it. So we have to invest in these things. I kind of think of it as investing in our demise as we transition to a new economic system. There's almost nothing that can get in the way of this transition because AI is moving so fast that regulators have zero chance of catching up with it. And because it's globalized, it can just shift and morph. And so therefore you need the supranationals to do something about it. And that's going to take time. So there's almost nothing to do to slow it down. It's going to change the system. It's going to change how it works. And we can invest in it. So I think we've got 6 years to invest as much as we can, whether it's your brain power or your capital, and both if you can, to make as much difference to unfuck your future as possible now. Then, when 2030, 2032, whatever comes along, you'll be better prepared because financially, you'll have maybe got yourself in a position where you've got the house that you want and some security. Now, as we go through the 2030s, in a world of abundance, we don't even know what money is anymore. So this becomes more complicated. So don't think of it as, oh, I've got my pile of money and everything's fine. It's more about my pile of lifestyle. Do I have the lifestyle I want? Am I protected from vast societal change? And so I think we've got 6 years to do that. 6 years before we don't know how to build a business. 6 years before we can't invest in financial markets. And again, 6 years is not an absolute date, but it's kind of just to give you a rough idea of how urgent this is. This is the most urgent thing. This is supplanted or changed my focus from, hey, everybody needs to be empowered in their financial journey to you've got 6 years to fucking sort your shit out. And so, part of a lot of what I write about in Global Macro Investor is this. And Real Vision is trying to take people down this journey. This 6-year journey is the most important time of anybody's lives. I can't stress that enough. Everything will change, including society around us, and it's not going to be easy to absorb it. But at least if you're open-minded, you're adapting to it, you're investing in it, you're at least investing in this change, as opposed to fearing the change as it comes. So get your heads around all of this, focus, 6 years, it's what counts, and make them count for you and your family. But one thing that does remain true is that humans are social creatures. And so I have a huge belief in the value of community. I think communities are going to be where our purpose lies. This is where this universal basic equity of owning a stake in the community that you belong to, whether it's an economic community or whether it's a social community or it's a commonality of purpose community. I think this is a really, really big concept. But generally speaking, community is everything. And one of the things we're really leaning into at Real Vision, more than the blockchain and more than the AI, is community. Because we want to get together. We want to talk. We want to be humans together. We want to engage with each other. We want to enjoy experiences together. We want to figure things out together. We want to share ideas, trade ideas. All of that is what being human is all about. It gives us confidence, it gives us a place in society, and Real Vision, we're really focused on that community side of things. And I think businesses who do that have a better chance of surviving this. If you don't have a community and you're just a product, you're fucked. One of the other ways that this affects the economy is this is essentially a nuclear bomb of deflation, because everything goes to zero in value. You can't see it now. The world's fighting over inflation. Our wages might go up and all of this stuff. You have no comprehension of the scale of deflationary shock that this is going to create. Because things that create inflation, humans, their purchases, human labor, scarcity, well, they go to abundance. It inverts the system. So it's a very complicated world, and the deflationary shock is gigantic. It's one of the reasons I do not believe in secular inflation. I think people have the wrong marker stones. People seem to think this is somewhat akin to the internet. It's not. It's fucking profound how big this is. This infinite intelligence. The internet was just the rails. This is the applications layer of which all of humanity will be based. And it is extraordinarily deflationary because the AI will solve its own problems. So it'll solve its own energy problems. It'll solve its own logistics problems. It'll solve its own security problems. So these things get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. So as a deflationary shock, it's huge.
Rawl Pal argues that the next 6 years are the most critical investment window of our lives. Technology and blockchain are the only two secular growth markets left, with blockchain adoption outpacing any asset in history and AI now advancing even faster. The pace is so rapid that regulators cannot contain it, and because the systems are global, they will evolve regardless of political resistance. Pal frames this transition as unavoidable. The financial system will change, and with it, the definition of wealth. He stresses that individuals should use these years to deploy both capital and skills, securing not just money, but lifestyle and resilience before the 2030s. Community, he adds, will become the real anchor of value as AI and automation drive an enormous deflationary shock, forcing businesses and individuals alike to adapt or be left behind. The question is, are you preparing for that shift now? Or will you wait until it's too late? If you want to stay most up to date on the crypto and Bitcoin world, subscribe to my daily 5-minute crypto newsletter. It's a concise resource for the latest expert predictions, breaking news, and top-on-chain analysis, trusted by over 90,000 subscribers for insightful crypto investment information. Don't miss out on the opportunity to stay informed in the crypto market. The link is in the description below. I hope you all enjoyed today's video and that it gave you some value. I'll see you all at the next one, and as always, all the best.